Okay, what we're doing, what I've started to do is I'm going to work on redeployment of my front end. And this would be kind of like the last step. We know how to deploy the back end. And so working with Grant here briefly to redeploy my front end. And so what I'm basically going to try is the series of steps in my last video where I deployed for the first time. I'm going to redo that video. And probably there's, well, maybe there's an easier way besides doing the whole video over again. Like if I go into my issue tracker React and I look at that, I have a build folder. So if I go into my build folder, you can kind of see here that this has just been generated for us. This build folder is nothing that we created. So there's a couple of ideas that I have on how I could go about this, and basically the one idea is to kind of go back into your Cloud Shell and remove rm issue tracker React folder. It is a directory, so rm cannot remove. So the command to remove a directory must be something different. So I think this is it. You do an rm -r for non-empty directories. Remove write protected. Yes. Okay. Okay, so that removed that whole folder, so now my front end has been removed. Yeah, I'm kind of trying some different things here, and so this was something that we kind of went through. Now I tried this earlier and I was getting permissions issues, but based on the process that we followed a couple weeks ago, I think my permissions issues might be fixed. So I'm going to try following this quick tutorial, and if this works, then that's great, and then our redeployment is complete. If not, we can go back to the original video and go through that process. And so I'm going to open up my issue tracker React. Now this is npm run build. Right, so again, this is not finished, but we are npm run build. Okay, we already have our Google Cloud project. We've already enabled the App Engine. I'm going to, so I've already done these two steps. We did those in a prior video. So now it's going to be gcloud auth login. And basically I need my Google credentials to work with us. Okay, and so now we have our build folder. The build folder is ready to be deployed. Okay, so I'm going to run this gcloud auth login and sign in with my Gmail. Allow. You are now authenticated. Okay, set. I'm going to copy this command. Now, this is a pretty important one, right? Because I've got two projects on my Google Cloud, and I need to make sure that my project ID is the right one. So let me go back here. Project number, project ID, right there. So this is my project ID. So I need to copy that and replace your project ID with that. Okay. gcloud app deploy. Let's see what breaks. Gcloud. And again, I just want to make sure this target URL is my front end, not my back end. And that is exactly the project ID that I just pasted. Was the ending in 29. Ending in 29. I'm going to hit yes. And I don't recall it getting this far last time. Maybe I missed a step the first time. I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, now the big difference that I've made some changes to my project, but on my front end, but the one thing you'll see here is I put my last name in the nav bar. So I'll be able to tell pretty quickly if my front end has been redeployed, as if my last name, or frankly, if it even comes up. If it doesn't come up, then you know, I removed it already, and this process, something broke. It's just the nature of this development world that we're in, that there's 15 different ways of doing one thing. And so, you know, there's 15 ways to write code, there's 15 ways you could deploy, there's 15 ways you could redeploy. So you just got to try things, and some things work and many things don't. You just got to keep trying until you get them to work. This is a good sign that it's getting further in the process. From what I remember last time, it didn't get this far. I'm going to pause until this is done. Okay, moment of truth. Deployed service to my project. I'm going to control click open. See what breaks. Of course, the first time loading it, I would expect it to take a little while, or it's breaking. The longer it takes, the more I'm not sure. Yep, no good. Server error. Issue tracker React. Dashboard. Now I'm curious, if I do dir, nothing is listed there. Let me go to my dashboard. Okay, great. We are back up and running. This is very good stuff. You could see the new deployment is there. All I had to do was update our app.yaml to the following. This is exactly what we had in our app.yaml on our initial deployment. And so to review the steps that I did here, pretty simple. I removed the directory that we did previously. I used a slightly different process. This is great because this is going to allow us to do this as many times as you need in the future. So step 1, remove the old folder. Step 2, let's update our app.yaml on our front end to this chunk of code. You can copy and paste. I'll put it in the video notes or in the video description. Step 3, do a npm build, and then npm or gcloud app deploy. So basically it is following this article, with the only caveat: this article did not account for the app.yaml file, and kind of undoing some steps that we did before. So hopefully these steps for redeployment work for you, but that is the process to get that up and running.